Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is actually going to be a movie review, and I haven't done one in over a year, mostly because COVID hit, and originally that was basically what my channel was just movie reviews, until I decided to make it kind of anything I really wanted. You know, my channel's me, basically everything I like, and I still like movies, so let's talk about one. Today's movie review would be Godzilla vs. Kong, which is basically a movie about when two alphas come into contact with one another. This film starts off introducing Kong on Skull Island in a containment field, and it shows that he's aware of it and he does want out, but it also shows he has a unique bond with this girl named Gia, who's played by Kaylee Hoddle. The film then cuts to Brian Tyree Henry's character, Bernie, who's a conspiracy theorist who's infiltrating the company Apex to discover their secrets regarding Titans. Shortly after introducing Bernie, Godzilla does attack the city where the facility is at, causing a lot of chaos. So after this attack, Godzilla gets branded as a monster, and he loses his hero title that he got from the last film. Now, Apex CEO Walter Simmons, and I believe it was the head of the tech division, I think, I don't know, part of the company as well, Ran Serizawa, who are respectively played by two names I might butcher, so let me try to read it and get it correctly. Damien Bichir, I think. Bichir. I'm doing my best here. And Shun Oguri. Sorry if I butchered that. Anyways, these two characters, Walter and Ren, seek help from an outcasted scientist named Dr. Nathan Lin, who's played by Alexander Skarsgård, who specializes in Hollow Earth theory. Now, Dr. Lin agrees to help, but he has to use Kong to help him find the power source within Hollow Earth. And so the next scene after that, they're basically asking Dr. Andrews, who is a scientist that oversees Kong's containment facility, and she's also the caregiver to the little girl named Gia, to get her approval to have Kong moved from Skull Island to Antarctica, which at first Dr. Andrews is reluctant and concerned because of the threat for Godzilla. She believes as soon as Kong steps off Skull Island, Godzilla will attack, and yeah. But ultimately, she agrees because Kong is just getting way too big and they don't believe they'll be able to hold him or keep him contained much longer. And so now they do their best to stay away from Godzilla, making sure they're not around his territorial waters while they're transporting Kong, but Godzilla still comes after them. Now, Godzilla does win the first round of this fight, and they get away because they come up with the idea that if they turn off all their engines, and since Kong is out cold, they'll play dead and let Godzilla think he killed Kong and he'll leave, which it works. Godzilla thinks he's dead, and they move on. But they can't turn the engines back on because that will let Godzilla know that they're still alive. And so Dr. Lin comes up with the idea to fly Kong to Antarctica. Now, meanwhile, all that is happening, we are reintroduced to Maddison, Millie Bobby Brown's character from the last movie, who doesn't believe Godzilla's attacks are unprovoked, and she wants to know what's causing them. So she sets off with her friend Josh, who's played by Julian Dennison, I believe. Yes, Julian Dennison, to go find Bernie, the conspiracy podcaster, and discover the truth together. Now, the three of them together discover an underground facility within the destroyed facility from the beginning of the movie and get locked into a container, sent to Hong Kong because nobody knows they're in the container. And when they reach Hong Kong, they discover that Apex has been building mechaGodzilla. Now, Apex's goal is to have a Titan of their own so they could defend against other Titans, because these Titans cause a lot of chaos, and with Godzilla branded as a monster, it only justifies them even further. But they cannot power mechaGodzilla with the power source here. on Earth, or that we have, they need the Hollow Earth power source, which is why they send Dr. Lin on that expedition to go get it. Now back to Kong's group, they finally arrive to Antarctica, and Gia communicates to Kong to enter Hollow Earth because that's his home, and after some time, Kong finally goes. By the way, I forgot to mention Dr. Eileen Andrews is played by, Rebecca Hall. So, forgot to mention that. Anyways, Dr. Lin, Dr. Andrews, and Gia, and a few others hop into these special machines called HEAVs that were created by Maya Simmons, who is Walter Simmons' daughter, who's played by, and I might butcher this, so I'm sorry, but I think it's Aiza Gonzalez. Again, sorry, I'm trying my best. Anyways, they follow Kong into Hollow Earth using these machines. Long story short, they arrive, and Kong leads them to the power source, which Maya then analyzes and sends it to her dad, Walter, which then he forces Ren to go ahead and jumpstart mechaGodzilla despite Ren's concern of the new power source. And at this point too, Maddie, Josh, and Bernie do end up being discovered, and they get sent to Walter. That, by the way, is probably the last significant thing they do. So, just letting you know on that. Godzilla then arrives to Hong Kong, and he blasts a hole between, like straight down into Hong Kong, all the way to Hollow Earth, which gives Kong and everybody a shortcut back to Earth, which sets up round 2 for their fight. Also at this point, Kong does already kill Mia. So Kong, with his new, discovered battle axe from his ancestral home grounds, is able to take Godzilla on and win the second round of the fight. However, Godzilla is not down for long, and round 3 starts shortly after that, and Godzilla wins pretty definitively. He beats Kong down to almost a near-death state, which plays later on. Now, while all that's happening, mechaGodzilla does get activated, and with the new power source, I guess it's too much, and it fries Ren in his little pilot seat, and I believe it kills him. And then mechaGodzilla gets a mind of his own and goes on a rampage in Hong Kong. mechaGodzilla also has the power to turn night into day, because when he arrives, it is suddenly daytime, and Godzilla is ready to take him on and fight him. Now, while Godzilla is losing the fight, Dr. Lin uses a HEAV, one of the HEAV, the space machine things, to charge Kong, like defibrillate him, because his heart is slowly dying out, I guess. And it works. He awakens Kong and allows Kong to get back into the fight after some convincing talking with Gia. At first, mechaGodzilla is holding his own against the two, and looks like he's gonna win against both of them, but Kong and Godzilla use like a team attack where Godzilla powers up Kong's axe, and it allows Kong's axe to actually slice through mechaGodzilla like it's nothing. And so they win the fight, and Godzilla leaves. Kong goes back to Hollow Earth, where Gia, Dr. Andrews, and Dr. Lin, I guess, build a little camp there, well, like a new little base or something, and they stay there with Kong. And that's the end of the movie. So now that the summary's over, let's get into things I liked and didn't like. Things I liked how they still use Maddison to be kind of pro-Godzilla a little bit, although they don't really use her too much and she doesn't really do anything in the film. But, you know, the idea that she's pro-Godzilla and Gia's pro-Kong, I don't know, I kind of like it. But I loved Gia, by the way. The actress, she is amazing. I think this is one of her first major film credits. And she just, normally, you know, children actors aren't really the best, and it's because they're children. But she was amazing. She was amazing. And her relationship with Kong, showing that throughout the film, showing Kong's intelligence, like, it makes it made me really like Kong a lot. Going into the film, I care less for Kong. Godzilla, I liked Godzilla. But after the film was over, I think I liked Kong more than Godzilla, which was pretty cool. So not only did they humanize Kong, which I liked, I also liked that they did not Batman vs Superman it. I mean, I was concerned when mechaGodzilla was, I don't know if it was confirmed or rumored to be in the film. I thought they were going to Batman vs Superman it, but no, they give you a definitive answer on who would win in a fight, Kong versus Godzilla. Godzilla won, and mechaGodzilla didn't take away from that, or didn't take away from the title of the film. So that was really nice that they gave a clear resolution to that. And then the fights, the kaiju battle, CGI of it all was just amazing, and I wish I saw it in theaters, to be honest with you, because it's awesome. The fights are awesome. Now, the negative about the film, one of the negatives is that the first act is about 37 to 47 minutes long. That depends on where you think the second act starts. If you think the second act starts on the first fight between Godzilla and Kong, then it's 37 minutes long. I personally think the first fight launches the story into the second act, which would put the story to start around the 47-minute mark, which is a really long time for an introduction part of a movie. And I consider the midpoint to be when Maddison, Bernie, and Josh discover mechaGodzilla, which then justifies why Godzilla attacked Apex in the first place, is because they were trying to theoretically replace him, which would then put the first half of the second act only around 15 minutes. Now, the film lacks a traditional all hope is lost point of the film, and basically what that is when the heroes feel like they're defeated and they have to they're at their lowest moments, then they come up with a new plan, which that new plan will set up the climax of the film going into the third act. If I had to place a pinpoint on when their lowest moment would be, I would have to say is when Gia finds out Kong's heart is fading. That would have to be the lowest point. Then the new plan would be them defibrillating Kong with the HEAVs to help stop against mechaGodzilla. So that would make the all hope is lost moment come 16 minutes after the midpoint, and then 3 minutes after that is the new plan, and then you go into the third act. So the climax ends up only being about, I have it here, only being about 7 minutes, and then 3 minutes for the resolution. So it's 10 minutes in total for the third act. So that puts the opening act, Act 1, 47 minutes long. Act 2, 34 minutes long. And then the final act, 10 minutes. Now, there's no set rule to writing. You don't have to have follow the traditional 3-act structure. And you don't necessarily have to use a 3-act structure. It's just kind of the one I'm most comfortable with. And traditionally, with a 3-act structure, your opening act would be about 25% of the film. The middle act, the second act, is the bulk of the movie, which should be about 50% of the film. And then the final act, about 25% of the film. This film is more like 50% opening act, 40% second half, and then 10% of the final act. The second and third act is so short that the movie almost tricks you into thinking it's at a fast pace, when in reality, it takes an eternity of build-up to get to the main junction of the movie. So my final verdict is, look, the action between Kong and Godzilla is amazing, and I was really, after I saw the film, I really was high on it, because I was just so caught up into the hype. And the connection you build with Gia and Kong and watching that play out. They do such a good job with Gia and do such a good job at humanizing Kong, that after I finished looking at the movie, I looked at the IMDb score and it said 6.6. When I looked at it, I was kind of surprised because I was like, this is a good movie. Like 6.6 is pretty low. And it wasn't until I started breaking the movie down and really started thinking about it that I'm like, yeah, no, that's probably accurate. I mean, full disclosure, I did fall asleep twice watching this movie. Now, I think that's mostly to do with my sleep schedule being completely off since COVID hit, and not really a knock on the movie itself. But after looking at the introduction is 47 minutes long, it didn't help. The long introduction phase, it didn't help. So the 6.6 on the IMDb is probably accurate. I'm gonna go on a limb and give it the higher end a 7 out of 10, just because I am a sucker for the big kaiju battles, and the CGI was amazing. I think the director did a really good job with some of his, the shots he did and transitions. The acting was good. And I was really I really enjoyed Gia's performance, because normally child actors you don't really connect with that well. They're not the best, and that's mainly because they don't have a lot of experience to draw on, life experience. But she was amazing, and so I'm gonna give it a 7 out of 10. But in reality, it probably is a 6 out of 10. I just might be a little bit biased. And yeah, that's my movie review. I'm not gonna just be doing movie reviews all the time, probably just for films that I'm really interested in. Again, to reiterate, my channel, if you subscribe, which I hope you do, is basically me. If you like me, you'll like my channel. I like to play video games. I like to watch movies. I like to eat at restaurants. Okay, these are things I like. And if you like that and you're interested in, get to know me a little bit better, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, leave a comment. Leaving comments help out a lot. So if you could just leave a comment, even if it's you saying you don't like the video, that's fine. If there is anything you'd like to see me work on in the future with the videos, maybe some things to improve upon, more than happy to hear those in the comment section. Thank you. Thank you for watching.